Hello, everybody. Hey, look who's with me. Wait, which way do I point? I don't know what side of the screen Brenda's on. I'm so excited to have Brenda here moderating with me for today's YouTube live. So everybody say hi to Brenda. So glad that you're here. She's in
Hey,
Idaho.
everybody.
Yeah, it's so cool because she's in Idaho and I'm in Oklahoma, and this is how best friends get together and have coffee. We sometimes just do this, but glad you're joining us for coffee too. So, right, Bren, we can invite more friends to coffee. I think that's all right. Well, everybody, I have some really great cards lined up for you today. It's time for a creative sketch. Creative sketches are so great when you're struggling, your mojo has gone whoop, and we've all had it happen. I've had it happen too many times. Sometimes I'll even go through weeks where I'm just everything I make just seems to go. So, creative juice sketches are one of the things I go to whenever I struggle for ideas. And so, I've got what I'm calling the layout of your dreams. This one is easy, it's fun, it's simple, and we're going to be creating 3 cards. I gave you the measurements for the card that we're going to create. If you want to create along with me, I shared that on the community page there on YouTube, or you could find it at simplysimplestamping.com. And Brenda is going to upload the download for today. In fact, let me show that to you. Yep, I got a free download that goes along with my cards today. So you're going to have all my supplies, you're going to have my measurements, you're even going to have a picture of the sketch. How about that? That's going to make it super easy. And if you see anything that I use today and you want to order, you can click right there and you'll be able to order that. If you need to come back and watch my video, you can click right there. This is what's great about the downloads. I love for you guys to have everything there at your fingertips. So I want to encourage you guys to check that out. So let's get a little close up here of our sketch for today. It's a very simple one. Like I said, we're going to just be using some simple pieces. In fact, look at this. That's it. That's what I'm using today. Oh my goodness, super easy. So I've got a card base, and that's going to be 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to have the matching piece of whatever my card base is. It's going to be a 1 by 5. And then this piece, I'm actually going to start with a 3 by 3 3/4. Okay, we're going to start with that, and then we're going to do some cutting. You'll understand why I kind of broke that down, and how we're going to do that. So that is our sketch. I'm going to keep this handy so I can always look at my measurements. And let me show you the card we're going to create today. This one, we're going to make this in a matter of minutes. I promise you, this one is going to go so fast. Used that Hue of Happiness designer series paper, makes it super pretty. This is an easy one, all right? So how about we get started? And let me tell you, we're going to use the Happiness Abound stamp set. I wanted to make a thank you card. I needed some thank you cards. So sending many thanks, but look at all these gorgeous flowers. I decided to bring in this flower and this one. And so I've got my pieces of cardstock here, and I just went over those measurements for you. I'm using Gorgeous Grape today. And let's start with some stamping, shall we? Okay, how about a Gorgeous Grape ink pad to go with my Gorgeous Grape cardstock? Let me zoom out just a tiny little bit. It's a little close. All right, so I'm going to start with that great big flower. And I want to give my card base a background. So we're just going to stamp randomly. And you know what? Leave it to me. I stamp that and I go, wow, that's awfully bold. Because guess what? I think I was supposed to do that in Versamark. Okay, well, in my mind, I looked at it and I thought it was Gorgeous Grape. You know what? I'm going to have you guys stamp in Versamark, but we're going to go with this. We're going to see how it looks. Maybe it'll be beautiful, right? Because I'm doing that because I'm going to be using my Versamark pad to do some heat embossing. Do you guys love heat embossing? I think that was probably one of the first things that really wowed me when I started stamping. I got a chance to see heat embossing and it blew my mind. I'm actually going to share with you a brand new product that's going to be in our catalog that starts tomorrow, July 1st. This is, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's my little embossing. It's like a little embossing kit. And you get 4 pieces with it. So you get this fabulous tray for your embossing powder. Look, it's even got a little stopper so you can pour your embossing powder back in. The best part is this. This is an embossing buddy. I'll show you that here in just a second. We've got a brush, so we can brush off any little uh, embossing boogers. That's what we call them. Because, yeah, sometimes you need to brush those away. And then this is brand new. We've never had this before. Look at that. It's, I don't know, do we call these reverse tweezers? You press them to open them instead of pressing them to close. And now my fingers won't burn. So awesome little kit. And we're going to use this today on our card. So let me share with you how to use an embossing buddy if this is brand new to you guys. So this has, I don't know, magic inside. I'm going to run this little packet of powder. I'm going to rub that all over my cardstock. Why, you ask? Of course you ask, because you are the curious one. What this does is it's going to remove any oils that could be on the paper that embossing powder could stick to. You know, my hands, if I had hand lotion on or had touched my face and there's oil, you know, embossing powder is going to stick to everything. So that's why that embossing buddy is so great. So, you know what, real quick though, before I do this, I'm going to bring in my Banners Pick-a-Punch. Should have done this first, not that it matters as long as we get it done. This is a 1-inch strip, and I'm going to slide it here into my punch. I must have gotten it a little tight when I cut it. And we're going to give this a punch because I want a pretty little banner on this. And I'm going to have the banner off to the right as I work, okay? We're going to put some bows and stuff like that over here. So coming in now with my Versamark pad. We haven't gotten to the tray yet. We'll get to that here in a second. And I'm going to stamp sending many thanks for all you do. Just going to tap that on my ink pad, on my Versamark pad. And let's stamp our sentiment right here. And do you see how light it is? Hopefully you can see that. It's very, very light on there. And we're going to come in now. Let me slide that out of the way and bring my tray in. I'm going to use the Basics embossing powder. This one has black, white, and clear. And I'm going to use my white. And this is why I love this little tray. So we're going to take our sentiment and just sprinkle our embossing powder on there. That's pretty easy. Tap it off. I like to give it a little flick as well. This is where if you found any, like I see a little spot that I didn't get very good on my S. So I'll just pick that up one more time. There we go. And if you see any embossing powder that needs to come off, you can just use that brush to brush that off. Let me set this here for a second because I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to embossing powder. I don't want to bring in my heat tool with this out because I will either blow it all over the room, knock it over, forget about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap that embossing powder down to the bottom of the tray. Well, that's my first time using this one with the little screw, and there was some in there. All right, screw that back on. Now, move that out of the way, skip my mess. My goodness. Would I be stamping if I weren't messy? No, I really wouldn't. All right, so we're going to bring in our heat tool, but we have this really great reverse tweezer thing. So I got something to hold on to. I'm going to turn this on. Now, I'm going to set it off to the side so you guys hopefully don't have to listen to it. I like to let my heat tool warm up for about, 20, 30 seconds. I like it to start to get hot before I start doing my heat embossing. And let's see if we've got enough there. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do because I think this is so magical. I'm going to zoom the camera in so that you guys can see this. So you notice I'm holding it back maybe about 3 inches. If you hold it too close, it could start to warp your paper, and we don't want that. Do you see it starting to melt? Let's look at the word many. Here we go. Ready? Woo. I'm telling you, I never get tired of watching embossing powder melt. So yeah, that's just like the teeniest, tiniest little beads of plastic, and I guess it's plastic, and it melts and becomes beautiful and bold. And you just want to make sure you've got everything melted. And that looks good. By the way, you could also heat the back if you're if you choose. Either way, it's going to melt that powder. I just want to make sure I've got everything, and I do. Heat tool done, noise done. But did you love that those reverse tweezers? My goodness, I'm so glad Stampin' Up came out with this. Remember that it's going to be available tomorrow. Okay, that is done. And so now we're going to work with our sketch. And where did I put my sketch? Everything is disappearing from my desk. Well, I'll bring in this. I don't know where it went. I just had it. That's all right. We'll use this one here. So you see I have a 3 by 3 3/4. I want to cut this down to 1 3/4 inch. You see that right there. And so I'll bring in a paper trimmer, 1 3/4 inch swipe. That's it. That's easy. I didn't even make you a diagram for that one because it was just too easy. So we are going to add these onto our card, but to make this a wow, we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're going to add dimensionals here, and I'll tell you what, sometimes I have to find myself the perfect time to read your comments, and this is it. Let's see what you guys, Perry from Maryland. Diana says, I'm still here. Or no, Brenda's saying to Diana that she's still here, answering questions and little comments. She's really great. Brenda is awesome about putting in comments, helping me to see what you guys are saying. And okay, we've got Vicki says, I guess I didn't do a good job when I tried the embossing buddy on my tray. It was a real mess. Okay, Vicki, I want to hear more about that because I'm not sure what could have happened there, but I want to help you with that. And you notice that my tray had, I probably should have rubbed my embossing buddy over it first. I just honestly didn't think about it. And confession time, Stampin' Up sold these many, many years ago, and I still have my old tray. And I'm telling you, we're talking ages ago, I've had this one. Okay, before I tear these down, I want to make sure that my images are going to line up. So I want to make sure I'm kind of paying attention to that. So I've got the correct one to the inside of the card. We're going to add that there. See what a difference just having that pop. It really does make a difference. We're going to put this one right next to it. Leave yourself a little gapperoonie right there. Perfect. Okay, so for our sentiment, we're going to dress this up a little bit. So I'm going to bring in some sheer pool party ribbon because this had some pool party in it. So I thought, let's kind of make that pop. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share a trick. Here's my trick. I'm going to put a little adhesive right there. All right. I need to tie this onto my sentiment, but I don't want it to move around and I don't want to have to hold it. So I just added a little bit of adhesive and I'm going to press it onto my table while I tie this in a bow. That's a nice trick, huh? Just kind of holds it in place. Now, I want this bow to be really, really small. You notice I left it on the spool too. I don't take it off. So we're going to tighten up that bow. I always hold the little knot in the middle as I pull so I don't loosen that knot. There we go. Got my scissors here that I just had sharpened. I've already cut myself on them once. And so now, take that off my table. My little sentiment is all ready to go. Now we're going to add this on here. You know what? I just realized some of that powder, you can just brush it off, and I should have said this. A lot of times if that powder's still on there, I'll just take a tissue and wipe it off. It does not stay on. I mean, it's just there temporarily. So this is how our sentiment's going to go on. But do you see this? It's hanging. Remember, this has dimensionals. So we need to put a dimensional right here, just right there on the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a little more adhesive down the back of my sentiment. And we'll take our backing off of the dimensional. And we're going to line that up right here with the edge of the designer series paper. And boom, I'm telling you, there's a reason I said this is the card and the layout of your dreams because it's that easy to do. So here's the one that I did in Versamark. Here's the one that I stamped in Gorgeous Grape, and I meant to do that. Right. Okay. Maybe they'll buy that, Brenda. So yeah, whichever is your favorite. If you like the bolder look, hey, go with some Gorgeous Grape. If you like it softer, you can use Versamark in the background. Either way, gorgeous card. Let me show you here what I just did on the inside. I stamped another one of the flowers from that stamp set in Friend, colored it with some fresh freesia Stampin' Blend. So I made the inside pretty too. I just think it was an awesome, gorgeous card. But how about I show you a couple other versions and a couple other tricks? So I've got this card, and this one was fun. First of all, black and pink and white are my favorite colors. We had some fun with this one. So this one I used the big hooray or hoorah, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Hoorah. I thought this one was just going to be really fun with these bold circles. So here's what I did. I took my picture this die, and we've got the measurements there in your free download, guys. So you don't need to write this one down. But you can see I just die cut with the picture this dies. There's a circle and a rectangle. I use the circles because I love polka dots. And one thing I want you to notice is that this is going to leave, hopefully you can see it, it's going to leave stitching on it. And I can use this piece on something else. I can have little things poke through. I could do all kinds of cool stuff. But let me show you what I did with those pieces. Instead of using a 3 by 3 3/4 of designer series paper, I used a 3 and 3 3/4 of basic white. Now, I have just glued all those dots on there just randomly. It didn't matter how. Do you see how they're hanging off the back? We are going to trim. Oh no, I hit it too close. Let's trim this away. That's what happens when you drink coffee before you go live. You stamp in the wrong colors and you cut too close. All right, we'll cut here and right there. I'm a little stuck to that one. All right, we have our little circle piece done. Guess what we're going to do? We're just going to cut just like we've already done at 1 3/4. So we're going to cut through all of that. Ready? Whoop. There we go. That is cut. And I think that you can see we're just going to adhere those onto our card base. This hoorah is a little bit different because, you know, in our original card, it was a 1 by 5. Well, this one I did a little different because obviously that word was not going to fit on a 1-inch piece of cardstock. So that piece is a 2 by 4 1/4. Yeah, and I just did that and added a black and white gingham ribbon bow on it. Super cute card. Let me show you one more. And this one, well, this one was kind of a favorite of mine. This one says, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And I used Glimmer paper. Sometimes I'm looking for ideas on using that Glimmer paper. And this was definitely it. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how I did this card. First of all, my sentiment came from Charming Sentiments, and I used the bundle on this one because there's dies that will cut out all the words. See how we did that there? My friend Lisa designed this set. And what you're going to do is you're going to stamp this from behind this piece of white. Do you see the white cardstock behind it? You're going to stamp and die cut from that, and then we're going to cover it up. And then I used the butterflies dies, okay? The Build a Butterfly. And I punched or die cut, sorry, I die cut that from this piece here. So a great way, space saving card. These pieces of white, now they are a 3 1/4 by 3 7/8. So that one I cut a little bit smaller, and yep, that is what we needed for that card. And I wanted to show you this. So this Glimmer paper, can you see how it's ombre? It goes from dark to light or dark to light. So you want to decide, do you want your ombre going up and down? Then you're going to want to cut 3 inches this way. Or I'm sorry, yes, 3 inches, because this will be your 3 3/4, okay? And remember, 3 inches is only half the sheet, so that works out well. So if you want the ombre going down, then you're going to cut 3 inches that way. If you want the ombre going this way, you're going to cut your 3 inches this way. Is that going to be right? You know what? I said that and I don't think that's right. Ombre going this way. Yes, ombre going this way. There we go. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 3/4 and 3. You could even trim that down so maybe you get about that much. Does that make sense? So have some fun with that glimmer paper because, guys, I think that makes for a gorgeous card. And that one was super easy too. And I love being able to add those dies. This one, you notice I did my banners pick a punch on both ends. Yeah, kind of did things a little bit different. Added that sweet little butterfly, and I think that just made for a gorgeous card. Okay, let me go ahead and bring all of these in one more time, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing next week. Those are our cards, the easiest layout ever. And like I said, I've set my diagram. I bet it fell on the floor. That's what I do. Whoops, wrong way. We'll back up here. And yeah, you'll be able to get that diagram and everything you need there on the free download. You can find that at simplysimplestamping.com or down in the YouTube description. There is a link and it says, you can get your free download. Visit, and it's a HTTP WP. When you see that link, that's the one you're going for. I've had some of you guys ask about that, so I thought I'd share where you're going to find your free download that's going to be there on my blog for today. Those are the cards with the best layout around, the easiest layout ever. As I said, the layout of your dreams. All right, I hope you guys like that. Let's share what we're going to be creating next week. And I am really excited about these because it was a bit of a flashback for me. Again, I'm going to zoom in because there's something I want you to see on these cards. This is a one-sheet wonder. It looks hard, right? It really does. I hope that you can see. Can you see how the layers are going and they're just kind of scooping in? I had a picture in my room when I was a little girl that was this kind of diorama, and it just reminded me of it as I was playing around with this paper and with these dies. I was having a good time. So I used the deckled rectangles. You can also use your stitched rectangles on this one. So yeah, if you want to learn how to create this one sheet wonder, yes, one sheet wonder. And when I say one sheet wonder, that's my one sheet. And then I just kept cutting and cutting, and I was able to get this fabulous layers of card. But this is not going to be a heavy card to mail because it is so lightweight. Speaking of, did you guys hear the post office is going to raise the price of a first class stamp again? Another reason we really want to make sure we're paying attention to our layers and we're not letting our cards get over an ounce. We want to keep them nice and low. So that's what we're going to create next week. That will be on July 7th. I hope you'll join me. How about some show and tell? I love to show and tell. One of my team members, one of my stampers, Chris from Illinois, created this fabulous card. She knows I love the fruit. I love the fruit. This is a design I actually created, several months ago. I think it was at the beginning of the year. And I think this is such a fun one. And she created a really great thank you card for me. Chris, love the card. It's gorgeous. I wanted to show that one off. 4th of July is coming up, Independence Day here in the United States. And I got 2 4th of July cards. This one is from Mary Ellen in California. And she was so excited because she was inspired by my explosion card that I created. Look at that. Isn't that so fun? Let freedom ring. And I hope you can see she's got some fabulous dry embossed fireworks. I'll remember what they're called. My daughter, when she was little, she called them wireworks. So it's just wireworks. So we've got that one. I've got another 4th of July card. This was made by Mary in Indiana. And just a fun little fun fold there. Such a sweet card. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. And let's go ahead and switch back because I did want to give you 2 more quick things to share. And that is, if you missed it, the Creative 8 Summer Retreat registration has begun. And you guys know what a great time it is at retreat. In fact, if you've never been, trust me when I say you want to join us for this weekend of stamping, tutorials for everything we create, 3 different ideas for every tutorial. It's like 37 tutorials in all. We're going to start Friday night and we're going to stamp on Saturday, live presentations with many demonstrators, Brandy Cox, Jackie Bolheis, and Sharon Armstrong. We'll have mystery stamping, we'll have prizes. We're going to have so much stamping fun, and I don't want you to miss it. So if you head over to simplysimplestamping.com, you'll be able to look there, and we've got Brenda, if we have the link, if you wouldn't mind putting that up. I'm not sure if I gave that to you or not, but we'll make sure to get it there on the website so that you guys can get registered for the summer retreat. It's going to be a blast. One last thing, and this is on a personal note. Last week when I was with you, I had shared that it was my daughter's 21st birthday that day. She went to Disney World and got COVID and spent her entire trip in a hotel room. I was so sad. She had saved up for this trip. She was so excited, and she made it one day before she realized she was coming down with symptoms and had to spend the rest of her trip in a hotel room. Not the way you want to spend a week in Disney, right? You guys sent so many well wishes. Thank you so much. She did fine. Her symptoms were not bad. But at the same time, she's like, Mom, I got to be socially responsible. I cannot go. I could wear a mask. But I can't. I can't. We've got to stop the spread. So I was really proud of her to say, no, we'll just find a way to come back later. So she's going to go back in August. So she'll have an opportunity to go back. Disney treated her very, very well and extended her park tickets, which I thought was great. So shout out to Disney. Thank you for that. Like I said, the poor girl had been saving up for a year for this trip. So not the best way to spend a birthday, but she's doing well. And I just wanted to thank everybody for your prayers and your sweet comments. She's doing great. Well, I think
Connie,
that's all for me,
Connie,
everybody.
can you hear
Have
me?
a great week.
The free tutorial. Are you going to show that?
Oh, Brenda, thank you. I don't know if you guys heard. Brenda was just in my ear. Thanks, Brent. Yeah, I have a free tutorial for you guys. She's the best. I'm telling you. If you sign up for my newsletters, I always have a free tutorial for you. We've got a newsletter coming out either Friday or Saturday. Got to see when I can get that out. And I've got this awesome card tutorial to send you. Isn't that a fun one? You're not going to want to miss it. I mean, who doesn't want free tutorials? I've got all kinds of fun stuff for you in my newsletter. They're always fun. We share all kinds of stuff, right, Bren? We share stories and we share stamping ideas and tutorials and tips and just all kinds of good stuff. So I want to encourage you to go over to simplysimplestamping.com. When you go on there, you're eventually going to get a pop-up. You know how those are. It pops up and you can sign up for my newsletter. And I would love for you guys to get my free tutorial for my card. All right. Well, I think that is officially all for me, right, Bren? She's the best. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Make it a great day and a great weekend. And for those here in the United States with me, happy 4th of July. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.